Hey everybody, it's your boy Jot, and today I'm here to talk about a new anime. When it comes to anime, I'm kind of picky. I don't typically step out of my comfort zone too often, and I know what I like, I like mechs, I like horror, I like action and violence, and I like stuff that usually has darker themes. So when my buddy Tendi recently started raving about Odd Taxi, I took my usual route. Google it, read an intro synopsis, check out the art and animation, and give a knee-jerk comment about whether I'd check it out or not. With Odd Taxi, I was initially dismissive. I wasn't huge on the idea of watching another show about anthropomorphic animals, and this general synopsis kind of just sounded like Taxi Cab Confessions, but with more steps. A lot of you probably won't understand that reference, but all I'll say is that it was a show about taxi cab drivers with hidden cameras, and they would have patrons that had super raunchy stories. You can Google it at your own discretion. So anyway, back to Odd Taxi. Tendi would just keep gassing up the show, and he's like frequently messaging our group, and he's like, "Oh, dude, the my anime list score keeps going up," and I was like, "All right, whatever, I'll bite." So I figured, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. I'll watch an episode or two and see what I think. And you know what? I can't believe I almost slept on it. I can't believe more of my friend groups are not talking about this show. And that's why today I'm here to talk to y'all about Odd Taxi. On the outside, Odd Taxi might just look like some furry bullshit about a dude who drives a taxi around Tokyo. But it's more than that. On the inside, it's a mystery thriller that sucks you in and leaves you hanging. Not just wanting more, but needing to know more. Odd Taxi drops us into the life of Otakawa, a middle-aged taxi driver whose patrons' lives all connect in weird and wacky ways. Otakawa and the patrons' lives seem to all revolve around the mystery of a missing girl, and as the details of their connections start to unravel, we learn that not everyone is who they seem to be. With its family-friendly animal aesthetic and admittedly adorable opening and ending songs, the show could easily fool any unsuspecting viewer. As the show starts, you start to see little glimpses of how dark things actually are. And the first few episodes kind of follow a similar pattern. We're introduced to a new patron. Otakawa has some sort of interactions with his friends, which we learn more, and more of the world is built upon. And as the world expands, we get to see more and more fucked up things. With each intro of a character, more is revealed about Otakawa and his fairly unique personality through their dialogues. Every character brings a new element to the world, and after a while, you become so focused on the lives of the patrons that you kind of forget that the world is wrapped up in the mystery of a missing girl. Even as we're being walked through new characters, constant reminders of the missing girl are brought up through radios and televisions in the background, or the occasional remark through dialogue. The characters that you're going to meet are all over the place from all walks of life. I'm going to just name some of them. So, of course, we have Otakawa, our main character. He's a middle-aged walrus taxi driver with an inability to sleep at night. He spends most nights roaming Tokyo in his taxi and listening to his favorite radio shows, and more than often, getting wrapped up in his patrons' lives. Other things we should know about Otakawa are the fact that his parents abandoned him when he was younger, and he's an orphan. He is socially inept, and we see his progression through more and more dialogue. Then there's Kabasawa, a college student dwarf hippo whose aspiration in life is to be a social media star. Then there's Shirakawa, a nurse alpaca who is seeking to leave a troubled past. Then there's Goriki, I'm probably butchering these pronunciations, so I'm so sorry, a gorilla doctor and one of Otakawa's drinking buddies that wants to discover why Otakawa can't sleep at night. Then we have Kakiana, one of Otakawa's middle-aged drinking friends who is obsessed with finding love on dating apps, kind of like Tinder and whatever. Then we have the Diamond Brothers, or Daimon Brothers, and they're a meerkat cop duo that is literally good cop, bad cop. And, of course, they're brothers. Then we have Nikaido, a poodle who is the lead singer of a J-pop group called Mystery Kiss. We also have Dobu, a pistol-packing baboon Yakuza member who believes that Otakawa has a hand in the missing girl, and of course, Yano, Dobu's porcupine rival that only speaks in rhymes. There's still plenty of other characters in the story that you're going to meet, and I tried to be as vague as possible so that I wouldn't give too many spoilers. So you'll learn more as you watch it. Now that we've talked about plot and characters, I want to take a chance to talk about the animation. Visually, Odd Taxi is a treat. It sticks to the modern formula of using digital animation with mixed in CGI. The CGI isn't really like too overbearing, and it's done in kind of a unique way because they use cell shading. Cell shading is only really done on the cars and kind of reminds me a lot of Capcom's Automodelista, if you're familiar with that game. The environments ranging from, buildings to car interiors to what have you, wallpapers, they all have this formless construction paper texture that kind of just add to the almost kid book aesthetic that Odd Taxi is striving for. Character designs match their personalities almost perfectly, and if you're looking for an anime where the characters exist for plot and not just sexualization, then you'll appreciate them big time. Though even as I'm working on this, I'm more than sure that somebody wants to fuck Shirakawa, and there's probably already a handful of nasty art, and all I can do is just be disappointed. Leave the wholesome alpaca lady alone. The voice acting is filled with some great noticeable performances. Otakawa is voiced by Natsuki Hane, who most of you will recognize as Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Kakiana is voiced by Kappei Yamaguchi, who you might recognize as Inuyasha. Yano is voiced by a Japanese rapper named Meteor. And the first voice that I noticed almost instantly was the Yakuza boss Kuroda, whose seiyuu of the same name, Kuroda, voices Kazuma Kiryu from the game series Yakuza. God, that's a fucking mouthful. The music is all over the place and really well done, from the opening and ending songs to that infectious mystery kiss song that plays over the radio, to the beats that play under Yano's rhymes. The OST serves its purpose and is never really out of place. With my final thoughts on Odd Taxi, I'm already aching for a rewatch. With a plot that feels like it could easily take place in Sega's Yakuza universe, Odd Taxi was a refreshing breath of fresh air. With a unique, lovable cast, an immersive world, and a plot with so many twists and turns that you'll never stop guessing, Odd Taxi is sure to join the ranks of the anime greats. I personally applaud Odd Taxi for slapping me in the face and proving me wrong for judging it by its cover. Number-wise, I'd slap it with a 4 out of 5. The only reason I can't find myself giving it a perfect 5 is how much I disliked Episode 4, Tanaka's Revolution. I wasn't a huge fan of the introduction of the character of Tanaka, although he is by all means a necessary piece of the plot. The episode just altogether felt like it kind of kicked the pacing off a little bit, but it's worth enduring to get to the end of the road. Even though I feel this way about Tanaka, I'm sure there's people that really like the character, and that's fine. And I would say what he does plot-wise is more interesting than his actual introduction. If you've been hesitating watching Odd Taxi, add this 13-episode masterpiece to your queue and give it a watch. I think you'll find very little to be disappointed with. If you've seen the series and disagree with anything I've said, I'd love to read your comments down below. See, the great things about doing reviews like this is that it can open up a dialogue with viewers to explore things that I might like or dislike, and maybe we can change each other's minds. So while I was editing, I wanted to add a few things. One, at the moment of editing this video, the show is holding an 8.80 on my anime list. Two, when I said add it to your queue, I probably should have mentioned that you can watch it on Crunchyroll or Verve. And number three, most importantly, when I was recording this video, I didn't realize it was the 10th Jot Shot, which I think is worth celebrating. What kind of started as like a one-off video turned into something that I really enjoy making. To everyone who's watched and continues to watch, thanks for pushing me to make these video essays and reviews. It'll inspire me to keep going, and your feedback helps me create content that I can be passionate about. As usual, I'd like to thank my Bread Squad channel members, Papa Cat, Sheba, Omar, Art Hammond, Doomboy, That Forcefield Guy, Zaku27, Lily, and Mike Maverick. And I'd like to give a shout out to the first Crouton Crusader, Ambitious Austin. channel members. Y'all help make the dream come true, so thank you for your continued support. If you'd like to become a channel member, hit the join button below or the link in the description. If you're new, remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. If you have an anime you'd like me to watch or a topic you want me to discuss in a further video, please comment down below and just let me know. And most importantly, always remember, no brain, just aim.